how do you strike a balance between subtle and impact?
The definition of luxury is very different. Like, so people think that, if it is like all marble and if you have like hint of gold everywhere, it makes the project look luxurious. But I have a different way of moving around it, where so from 2012 until 2019, we were doing projects. The studio was surviving, but you wouldn't see us on social media or being out in the magazines with our projects and everything, because I should never relate myself to those houses or the projects that we did, But this project, okay, was like a turning point, So if you ask me that what is my journey like, how many years in this industry, I would say that my journey has actually started from 2020.
Launched in 2012.
Ek minute.
It's okay. We're just shooting now. कौन मरा?
My team thinks that I'm a narcissist. So designing, I do, okay? Like, that's my oxygen, okay? And then, while you're going home, sometimes, a lot of times it happens to me that I have tears in my eyes. I was like, ऐसा तो कैसा ही world best इंसान हूँ मैं यार, just मतलब ये डिजाइन तो मतलब मेरे में से ऐसा कैसे आ सकता है, like I'm a genius of the first order, like.
So what does success mean to you as an architect and designer today? So what advice would you give to your young designers trying to find their design identity? Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Walk the Talk with Bulbeer. Okay, buckle up, because today we have someone who can take a blank wall and make it feel like a personality. Someone who thinks in shapes, dreams in textures, and occasionally surprises you with a joke when you least expect it. The master of calm chaos, the wizard of aesthetic mischief. Say hello to Karan Desai. What sparked your interest in architecture, and how did your journey at Pillai College shape your outlook?
So my journey in the field of architecture started with my grandmom's mansion, like the house that she lived in Matunga. It was a beautiful 15,000 square foot mansion, a joint family staying there.
Wow.
And it was already 115 years old structure, okay, of all I remember when I was at that age. And the family decided to sell it off and move away. All right. So while the building was coming down, I would go there and I would sit looking at all those details, okay? And there was this one time when Preeti asked me that why I was wanting to go there every day and like spend so many hours. And I told her that, I want to grow up one day and build a similar house for Nani Ma to like live in, okay? To that she said that, oh, so you want to be an architect. Now, honestly, that was the first time I even heard that name. I didn't even know what architect meant or what architects do. Over the growing years, okay, I remember like I would put my face out of the window while we would be going anywhere, and I would see like these really ugly buildings in the neighborhood, and I would think of to myself like, I am going to be a messiah to the society one day, like designing some really cool structures around, because this is not aesthetic, okay? So thanks to Preeti, she kept fueling my desire to be an architect. Finally, I got into Pillai College of Architecture. It's amazing because I got a year drop, and that year drop, I worked under two different architects. And my first internship with Ashish was where I really learned a lot. And today, if I say that what I am today and what I am doing, okay, was because of that internship, and perhaps that internship wouldn't have happened if I had not got a year drop. So yeah, that's how I'm very thankful to my college.
So the KDAD Studio was launched in 2012. What was your vision back then, and how has it evolved over the years?
Nice question. So that was the time when I was thinking to take up a job, okay, or go change my city just for a different experience, because I'd stayed all my life in Bombay, and I thought that maybe changing cities and doing things by yourselves, because when you're staying with your parents, you're too privileged with everything. And while I was thinking and I was applying and everything, we were introduced to this client in Goa, okay, where one small presentation, okay, didn't just get us that project, but after that we got like one more and then another and then another and another. So for 2 years, we were only working for that one client and we were doing like non-stop work. All right.
Wow.
And back in
All in
2012,
Goa.
everything was in Goa. Okay. So that is when we realized that first project was like, ye chota sa project, if you finish in 3 months and you move on, you know. But within like just 30 days, you get one more project. Within another 2 weeks, you get one more project with the same client. Okay.
So you manifested to go out of the city. So indirectly, directly
It happened,
you
but
went to Goa.
then yeah, so then that was a time when I realized that I would want them to come down to my studio and I want them to have that faith and trust in me that we'll be able to pull up the faith and trust that they're putting in us for all the projects that they're giving us. So is when I was just talking to Preeti regarding like, I think I should have like a small space where if I am traveling, there's somebody back there who's just working on the drawings and also that we don't miss out on the timelines. And that's when she had a property in Goregaon, okay, where my father was working out of, and they had a mezzanine which was not used. So she's like, okay, here's an X amount, and you can use the mezzanine, and this is what I have to give you, okay? Do whatever you want, okay? And you can start your own space, like, own studio. So that's how the whole thing started. Of course, like, when we started with the designing of the studio, I was like, okay, you know what, no problem. I'm just going to like jadu pocha, just put one desk and start my work, okay? But with his grace, we were growing and things were like, we could see like a really good future. So whatever I was earning, I was pumping back into the space to make it like the vibe that I would want to be there and work for like the longest hours,
So design philosophy and approach. Your work is known for merging minimalistic forms with refined functionality. How would you define timeless design in your own words?
Like you've already answered the point basically. Like it's the, that
Timeless
aesthetic
design.
with the functionality is what I try to blend in, where somewhere sometimes aesthetic is only that you admire, but has no functional value. I try to, of course, it's not always, but there are times when, sometimes that aesthetic is only for aesthetics, right? But I try and blend functionality with aesthetics, okay, where you enjoy not just by being an admirer, but you enjoy to like, it has texture, you touch it, feel it, it gives you some functional value. So I try to infuse that in most of our projects. Yeah.
Fabulous. Quiet luxury is a signature in your projects. How do you strike a balance between subtle and impact?
Luxury, it's very weird because when people come to us with this word called luxury, okay, they often mistake it with having gold in the house. It's like, you have like glossy marble and you need to have gold somewhere. So that makes the project look luxurious. All right.
Okay.
Which is
this is a new definition for me.
Which is very
for
weird,
luxury. Yeah.
The definition of luxury is very different. Like, so people think that, if it is like all marble and if you have like hint of gold everywhere, it makes the project look luxurious. But I have a different way of moving around it, where very subtle, like you pick up a nice piece of art, and doesn't have to be like only M.F. Hussain or any big painter, even like any good art. So the combination of right color palette, okay, texture, good lighting, and good art, I think a juxtapose of all of this together, okay, can make a project look very luxurious. It doesn't have to be very expensive, but the right selection of all of these together, okay, can make your project very luxurious.
Can you walk us through your thought process when you start designing a new space?
So, it's very weird. Uh, you end up first having a conversation with the client. Okay. So you're already tapping onto their energy, like, how they are, what they're going to like how is the conversation being and everything. And then once you're on board and when you see the site and their requirements, all right. And then, like it's that brief period between talking to your client for the first time and the the journey between, like, talking to them a couple of times, meeting them in the studio, meeting them on the site, knowing what their likes and dislikes are, where they're traveling, what do they like to go on a vacation for, and, like, the brands that they wear or everything, is that time when there are like all these jigsaw puzzles that come together, okay, and boom, that, okay, this is the style of lifestyle I want to propose to them. So more often this is the case with me, where like the moment I tap onto my client's energy, okay, I know exactly, like, so for example, if tomorrow you come to me and say that, Karan, I want you to design my house, okay, I have a blueprint in my mind that this is what I'm going to do for Bulbeer. Okay. And it's not just with my clients, I do that as an exercise, okay, and I think it's a really cool thing to do. I don't know, but I keep doing that in my brain, okay. So I would say that, okay, for example, I'm in awe of Zaha Hadid, okay, and she being an architect, and I feel like she's the king of architecture. But I would think that if Zaha Hadid hires me to be her designer, okay, to design a house for her, what would I do? And I keep doing these exercises in my mind, which I guess, like, they all like gear me up to when I have a real client. I just have a vision that this is what I want to do.
Wow.
So that's almost like the design process. But then I can't give this explanation to everybody else. So I logically then build it up. देखो,
and put it up
ये ऐसा है तो ये
nicely.
इसके लिए ऐसा है, ये ऐसा है तो ये इसके लिए ऐसा है. So then I logically like reason it out.
So, project experience in storytelling. Among your residential, commercial, hospitality projects, is there one that challenged you the most creatively or technically, or whichever way?
The dream project, okay, which we did. It's in Valkeshwar, beautiful 2,500 square foot house. It was a dream come true because we were trying a lot of new design elements in the house, okay, and also challenging because there's so many things which we were doing for the first time. So there's a lot of R&D that goes into it, and sometimes it may not even work out, So that project, I feel, came in much later in my entire career, okay, say 8 years down the line, all right. And to be honest, I feel that the start of my career is with that project. I associate my entire career from that project onwards.
A 2,500 square feet project.
A 2,500 square foot project. Okay.
That means you've like, I think it's very close to your heart for sure.
Yeah. There's a whole story behind it.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
But that project, we did a lot of projects. So from 2012 until 2019, okay, we were doing projects. The studio was surviving, but you wouldn't see us on social media or being out in the magazines with our projects and everything, because I should never relate myself to those houses or the projects that we did, But this project, okay, was like a turning point, So if you ask me that what is my journey, like how many years in this industry, I would say that my journey has actually started from 2020,
So my next question was that, can you share a story behind a project where a small detail made a huge difference? I think this is it. So yeah, that's if you want to share it. Otherwise, we can move on.
So I'll just tell you, 2011 was when I was giving my thesis, okay? And soon after, I'd gone to this gentleman's house for a dinner, okay? A family friend. I went for dinner. And I look at the house, and now, so you can imagine my state of mind. I've just given my thesis and I'm wanting to explore and, like, take over the world, but there's still so many things that I have to learn and everything, right? So you're in that stage, right?
That stage, yeah.
So I go to this house and I am blown away, okay? Because it had all Italian furniture, the location was amazing, the scale of the house was amazing. There were no fans in the house. So back in those days, to have a house without a fan was like a big thing. Like, you know, like you'd be like, wow, like this dude is like super rich to have no fans in the house, right? And everything, okay, was in that house. And I started to doubt myself. I questioned myself that, wow, like, you know, like if I was given a chance today to do a house like this, I don't think I would be even like 10% through to the details and to like the justice that this architect has done to this project, you know? So that entire evening went in like a lot of contemplation, thinking that, you know, what am I doing or what do I have to do perhaps to reach to a level that I am worth it, that somebody, if somebody comes to me with a project like this, okay, I'm worth it, you know. So I was thinking, and then they had a nice balcony, okay, and I was sitting in the balcony and I was praying to Gurudev, okay, that when will I be able to do a project like this, you know, to do justice to a project like this, you know. So, and then I'm praying that, you know, whenever the time is right, I also want to do like a project, you know, like a nice big project. I was like, okay, let me like be more specific, all right? I was like, इतना बड़ा घर तो मिल जाएगा, but अगर view अच्छा नहीं होगा तो क्या ही फायदा? Like if you're overlooking into slums, so it's not going to have that value, right? So I was like, इतना घर तो अच्छा बड़ा होना ही चाहिए, but view भी बहुत अच्छा होना चाहिए. Then I was like, घर अच्छा मिल गया, view अच्छा मिल गया, but client के पास पैसा ही नहीं है तो क्या ही मतलब? So I was like, okay, this is a third condition that the client should be rich, okay? Then I was like, साले पैसे तो सब लोगों के पास होते हैं, but कलेजा किसके पास होता है उसका पैसा spend करने के लिए. So I tell, like I pray that, you know, this is my last condition कि बड़ा सा घर, अच्छा सा location, पैसे वाला आदमी और जिसके पास कलेजा हो जो पैसा खर्चा कर सके. Okay, this is back in 2011, all right. And 2019, I just got a call saying that, hi Karan. I was like, hi. He's like, do you do interiors and all that? I was like, yes. He's like, so will you do my house? So I know of this guy and I know he lives in South Bombay in a building. So I was like, yeah, sure. Like, you know, are you looking at this house to get done? He's like, no, not this. My another house, which is Om Vikas. And Om Vikas is the house where I had gone in 2011 and I'd seen all of that. And in that balcony, I'm praying to Gurudev that I want these 4 things to happen. And it's the same owner who calls me saying that this is the house that I want to do.
My God, Karan, I'm sitting with a manifestation list with you. Please
You know,
do that.
the one who is like granting my wishes is like behind me. You know?
So yeah, coming to that, you know, I mean, now this is something that, you know, really has hit me, that we were talking about grace, we're talking about, you know, blessings, and we're talking about manifestation. And I mean, come on, you know, hearing all that from your childhood till, you know, say 2019 is what we've reached right now. And, you know, God has been really kind, and, you know, talking about, you know, all these things. And I know that you are spiritual and you believe in Gurudev, and, you know, you have something to do with, you know, the Dharampur and all of that. So can you just enlighten us all about it? Because it's something, you know, these things really touch the heart, because, I mean, not this is like off the record, but yeah, I am also quite on those lines. So, you know, hearing you, I'm like, you know, and of course, while we were talking, there were things I was mumbling and you kept speaking. So everything around was like, you know, it's a little crazy. You know, it sounds crazy, but it's real. You know, at the end of the day, it's how you believe.
True.
You know, and I really see that you are very quite, not very, you are quite spiritual. And, you know, in today's day and age, to be this spiritual is not, it's not something that you see everywhere. It's like, you know, 1 in a million. I think I would say, put it up that way. So anything you would like to, you know, say on that?
You know, it's, I'm so glad that you've asked this question, because I've been very vocal about it on my social media in general, okay? But on a platform like this, I've never spoken about it. So my family believes in him, but I've had my own journey, all right? And there was this time when I just made friends. I would go for satsangs. I made friends, and everybody would talk about their experiences with Gurudev, And I would think in my mind that how can you, the way that they were talking, how I was like, these are characteristics of a god, like how can you be in Gujarat and you being in Bombay at the same time and you say that, oh, you were in a problem and Gurudev helped you out, and you were in a problem and you prayed to him and you got out of it, okay? So I had this quest going in my head. Born in a Jain family, but I've always been inclined towards Krishna and Ganpati back in those days and all of that. Okay, so whenever then I would get into a trouble. Okay, and those troubles today I look back and I'll be like, they weren't even troubles. But when you are in that phase as a child,
Yeah.
and you start praying to like Ganpati. Okay, and 10 minutes up and there is no help. All right. And then that makes you thinking, and then you just remember that, oh, your friend was sharing an incident where they prayed to Gurudev and they were out of the mess. So I would pray to Gurudev and I'm out of the mess in like 5 seconds. So in my head I'd be like, oh, मैंने गणपति को तो pray किया ही था, मतलब the help was on its way. This is just a coincidence that I prayed to Gurudev and I got out.
Happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there's some more time goes by and you're again in a mess. And then you're praying to Krishna, okay, suddenly, because how you like keep going everywhere, like you want to pray to everybody.
When you need help, everyone is required.
Yeah, right? So I'm praying to Krishna and I'm not getting out of the situation, okay, and these couple of instances are like really imprinted in my mind, okay, and I can't forget that. And I was like, boss, abhi ye had ho chuki hai. If there is no help now, I'm screwed, okay. And I pray to Gurudev and I'm out of the mess. Okay, I was like, "Ye kya ho gaya?" Like I was like, no. But over a really long period in my life, I realized that how many such instances will I put in the category of coincidences, And then this one day I realized that if there is somebody out there who is listening to me, who is answering my prayers, who's responding to my SOS calls, it's him,
Wow.
And there's so many times, you are in like the lowest of your phases, and they're like, it's like a roller coaster. Life is like that, right? But in those lowest phases also of my life, these satsangs have been like an anchor point. A lot of people, like when I was in my college days and all, people made fun out of me for going to like satsangs and all of that. And to be really honest, I've never seen them as satsangs, because I would say his satsangs are like management courses, Trust me, Bulbeer, I kid you not. Like, it's not about religion, first of all, okay? It's about you and your spiritual path.
True.
But the experiments that he gives us, okay, they are so practical, all right? And even if you apply them in your day-to-day life, between a relation, like an experiment on relationships which you would give, okay, and if I apply it between you and me also right now, okay, it's going to work, So I realized that the keys that he's giving me is helping me grow in my career, in my life, as an architect, as a human. Then why not,
Of course.
And the byproduct, okay, of all of this has been the grace that has sailed me through all these ups and downs,
It's a belief. It's like, it's that bell that has rung,
Yeah.
and you've given it so many chances. It's not just once.
Yeah.
And it's not just said by somebody.
Yeah.
Like, we come across so many people, oh my God, I just, just got this. You won't believe it, how it just happens. And you're like, I just can't believe it. It was really some divine, some this, some that. And we're like, yeah, okay, whatever. But when that bell has to ring with you, wherever, it could
Yeah.
be anywhere.
Yeah.
It's your personal calling.
Yeah.
And it just happened. So basically, I mean, if it's happened through your friends, then they were the messengers where now this is my way of looking at things, that Gurudev was, sending you signals through your friends that, you started looking at it, and then eventually it came to you because it was meant to be, and there was something because it was there since childhood, something. And it's so nice to hear that, a grown-up young guy like you loved going to satsangs and found something precious in them. I mean, today when we were kids, we were like, okay, we have to go, we are going, but trust me, today when I go to certain kirtans, they are so mesmerizing. You just get into it and you're like somewhere else. And technically it's not that you are asking for help when you're in trouble. It's just that, I mean, that something it's going to be gone. You're not even going to come to know when that trouble just goes away from you, because you know how to deal with it, because you have the faith.
I agree.
It's nothing to do momentary.
I agree.
It's just that faith that has built up over the years.
I agree.
I mean, it's such a beautiful feeling, and I'm so happy to hear that, you have this in you. Like I said earlier, the youngsters, they're busy doing everything else but this. This is just something they feel that, oh my God, like I have kept yoga for when I get 80, then I'm going to do yoga. That's the way they think, Path Puja tab karenge jab hame zarurat hoegi. But it's not that. It's a calling, and it took me years to get into this vibe. And now if someone tells me anything and I'm like, I mean, I can relate this is not for the camera, but genuinely, I'm telling you, when you're talking certain things, Sumit gets crazy, like, listen, are you stupid? Like, what are you even talking? Do you know? I said, I know this is, and then he comes to me, maybe next day or maybe the same evening, and he's like, Mata, baby, I found, really? I'm not joking. And I'm like, he's like, how did you know? I said, Sumit, it just came. I mean, somewhere I know. When I sit in my prayer room, I'm like, everything is just, I'm like all teary. And if I'm sad, the only place I know on earth is my prayer room. I just go there, I start my prayers, and everything literally is washed out. I mean, so if I've gone in with 100%, I'm not saying I'll come out 100% out of everything. Obviously, we are human. We take little time, but I'm telling you, 70, 80, 85%, I'm like, everything, he's just taken away all the shit out of my brain. I'm fine. It's such a blessing.
Bulbeer, the thing is, it's amazing because nobody talks about this, We as working professionals go through so much of stress, anxiety, so many overthinking, any small thing and you start to overthink it. And when you are an entrepreneur, like there's so many added stress by the way that you keep taking it, because you want to make it like, to that top list and all of that. And I've realized that, like I know of friends who've gone on pills, antidepressant or for anxieties or to sleep, because they are because there's so many thoughts and all of that, because they feel like, oh, this is scientifically proven, so we're okay to doing that, whereas I have found a way where when I am in anxiety, Naam Smaran really helps me a lot, when I have stress, all right, when there's so much happening, that just 15 minutes of, and I won't say like sitting in one posture and shutting your eyes, just listening to like a nice music, which connects you to the higher, all right, calms me down, and I guess, dealing with the team that you're working with, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, and my team is also struggling to give their best output, but more often it is always like you feel that your team is not performing, but Gurudev's satsangs have helped me navigate my own self as an entrepreneur and the relationship that I share or I should share with my team, It has helped me, like, so you won't believe, people have worked with us, they've gone out And after 2 years, they've come back and they're still with us now, because they're like, oh, we've not got this work experience anywhere else. This environment of working, we don't have anywhere else. So we would want to come and stay here.
Yeah, because you automatically change the environment because of this thought process.
Yeah.
The way you function on daily. See, no God says that religion. Your biggest religion is humanity.
Yeah.
If you're a good human, automatically things, you change the ambience, you're going around with some aura, so which is why people come back then.
Yeah.
It's like it's nothing else, because everyone is doing things, na? Like you said, people are taking pills, people are doing the common things. This is something which is absolutely in common, and it's a blessing to be in this space. I agree. No one can touch the people who have got elevated here. And it is not difficult. It is not something that we have taken. We've not studied and graduated.
Yeah.
It's just here. It's
just connect. Just the thoughts.
Connect that, there is this divine which is there working on you, protecting you. Once you believe that, then he comes into action and get all those senses get activated. Even from there, that then nothing can touch you. Nothing.
It's so amazing that you're saying this.
Yeah, because I feel it. I know it.
And I just failed miserably to explain what it means to have a guru in life.
Of course.
It's
Karan, believe me when I say this, that if this is not happening, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But are you mad? Do you know what you're saying? I know it. It's okay.
Yeah.
There's something better. Why can't my question to everyone is, why can't you look at the next 5 doors that are opening rather than looking at the one that's shutting on your face?
Yeah.
This is my question all the time. It's easier said than done,
but
it's a feeling.
Yeah.
I am always, even I've been to this space which people are in.
Yeah. It's a journey.
God, it is a journey. But then get evolved in every way, not just get modernized in the way you look.
So,
it's the way you think.
I have to tell you this. While I started the journey, okay, and you're still struggling to get in projects, right? And there was this one project which was a really big project back then for me, okay, and it didn't work out. We did a lot of presentation. We pitched in, and the client loved it also and everything. And after a month, he just decides to go with somebody else, okay, and it didn't work out. And when you're trying to get more work and build that infrastructure, support your studio and want to grow in the career, and suddenly a really good project which I kept thinking would have been such a good point in my life, and it didn't work out. And I was thinking, and you just slip into that thought process, and for next 15 days you can't just function. Okay. And there was every fortnight we have a satsang in Bombay, and I went for this one satsang, and I was in close proximity to Gurudev, okay, in that satsang, and Baba is talking randomly, and then he looks at me, and then he quotes Kabir ji and saying that, there's a very beautiful doha that jo jave so mera nahi or mera so jave nahi, and then he explained that. I'm getting goosebumps right now.
I'm getting goosebumps because this is so close to what I just told you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is just for me.
And you just related it.
That, if this project was going to be for me, was meant for me, it would have been for me. If it is gone, then it was never meant for me. Okay?
Yeah.
I left it. Okay? We are humans at the end of the day. So I'm training myself that no, if Baba has said this, then it means something, and I need to contemplate on it, and I need to get it into me, trying to understand what he said it in the satsang. You won't believe, 6 months down the line, okay, there was this team of contractors who were working on that project, okay. I happened to bump into them. So, just by the way, I asked, so
I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
how is the project going? He's like, sir, you are the most blessed person to not be on that project. And I was like, why do you say that? He's like, after me, that guy changed 3 architects. Okay. And he's like, I had started the work. I still have to take 20 lakh rupees from that client. Okay. After me, another contractor team came. उसका भी पैसा बाकी है और अभी एक थर्ड कॉन्ट्रैक्टर काम कर रहा है साइट पे.
See?
And I am thinking about it that, that 1 month that we spent on the design phase, okay, was technically a learning process for me because we had not worked on that scale of a project, So we gathered all the resources to make that pitch, okay. Now if I had to do a project like that, I was like, like 1 month, I'll do it in a week's time.
So this is what it is. See, we forget this part and we think about what has not come to us.
Yeah.
But now how you've changed your perspective that, oh my God, I learned so much.
Yeah.
Suddenly, because those guys, so it was God only who sent those people to tell you, okay, bro, see, believe it.
Yeah.
This is so true. This is so true. I mean, suddenly you started thinking, oh my God, that didn't happen. Forget it, but I learned so much.
Yeah.
Whereas we should have thought, but because we are human, we don't think like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how long will we ever evolve and, take to, get us a mindset to this kind of a thought process that, okay, this has happened, but why this happened? Okay, it's happened, but why? See the positive side.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. But then, sometimes it's always easier. Now, today we are at a stage in our lives by God's grace.
Yeah.
That we don't have to, fend for like our daily meal.
Yeah.
But still, we have to be grateful and we have to see that why God is not giving us, it's for our own benefit.
Yeah.
It's for our own benefit. I don't know why people don't take it up that deeply. And it's not easy, so I can't blame them.
Yeah, of course.
We are those few blessed people.
That's when having a guru in life makes it also effortless.
So easy. Yeah, so easy. Like when we are reading the Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, there are sometimes, I don't understand it. But sometimes when I'm reading it, suddenly tells me, get the meaning of this, you need it. And I read the meaning and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is what I needed. This is what it is. I mean, it just hits me. I don't always open up to check the meaning because there's so much we're reading. But suddenly, out of, that full page, we call it Ang, because Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is literally the body.
Yeah, the body, yeah.
On one of the Angs, I'm like, no, I need to know the meaning of this. It's not always, I read a lot, but it's not always and every Ang that I want to know the meaning.
Yeah.
But when I get that hit, read it, get the meaning out, I'm like, iski zarurat thi. And that increases your belief. You want to do it.
Yeah.
You really want to sit and understand more, little by little. But still, I'm a person who doesn't have patience. But my patience, Vaheguruji has built my patience.
Wow, yeah.
It really, I had the worst voice to sing Kirtan. I used to sing, my sister is like, wow. And I would be like, yeah, like literally, And now when I'm reading my prayers, people, when I put on my Instagram, people are like, oh my God, it's so nice to hear. I said, it's all His grace.
Yeah.
I don't know where the tune comes from and how it just goes in sync. It's all His grace, and I feel like, I sometimes feel like just sitting in my prayer room all day long. I'm like, मुझे कहीं जाना ही नहीं है. मेरे को यहीं चाहिए, यहीं खुशी मिल जाती है. जो चाहिए सब यहीं मिलता है.
Yeah.
If I'm sad, the negativity evaporates. If I'm happy, it increases.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
agree.
Different. It's
agree.
different. We are so blessed. I just hope that, people also get this enlightenment and start living that real life that, अंदर से वो जो that they say ना, जो अंदर जो दिया एक होता है, हम सबके अंदर होता है. It's just how and when it lights up, and बस उसको ही we have to just keep it on, उसमें ही घी डालते जाओ और उसको ही उसको बुझने ना दो. It's so important because it just changes your perspective. It just gives you utmost positivity. Of course, that's, it's a 80-20. 80 positivity, 20% sometimes overrules the 80. But still, that 80 still protects you.
I totally agree.
It's so amazing, and I'm so happy that, to hear the things that I only knew it from the top because I used to listen to you, the seva and this and that.
Yeah.
But talking to you in depth about it, it's like it's giving me goosebumps. That it's so nice to hear that we have such people around us.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to be surrounded, it's by such company.
So you won't believe, there was this one time early years, you know how you would go out on a field trip with your client, right? Like you'd go to like Lakshmi or you'd go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And more often you'd bump into somebody else also, right? So there's this one time that I was with a client and I saw another friend of mine, okay, who's an architect and was with his client, and he just walked past, didn't say hi. Then thoda dur ja karke, when the clients were busy doing something, he just came and said, hey, sorry, I was with a client, that is why I didn't say hi. I was like, how does that matter? Okay. Then there was this another time that I was again with a client and I bumped into somebody else, and they just said hi and they just left. Otherwise if I'm meeting, I'd hug them and talk to them and all of that. And I was like, what is this happening? And I realized that that अंदर में feeling कि यार ये भी architect है, मैं भी architect हूँ, मैंने मिला दिया मेरे client को, ये admission इनके पास चला गया तो, okay. So I was like, which is fair. अगर किसी को ऐसा होता रहेगा तो it is fair. But I was like, thankfully, with his teachings, okay, I don't have that fear or that inferiority or a complex that अगर मैंने मेरे client को किसी और designer से introduce करा दिया तो मेरा client मुझे छोड़ करके उसके पास चला जाएगा, okay. To that extent that even on social media, okay, like if somebody's come on a cover page, very few people, but otherwise generally people will not repost it to like appreciate the person, or like even people will even think twice on messaging on a particular post that, oh, that's a great job, because your clients are following you. If they see you are messaging on some other Instagram handle of another designer, you are exposing them to that design. And I was like, what is this? And this, this Kabirji's thing that Bapa quoted, that Mera so jave nahi aur jave so mera nahi. I was like, if I believe in his words, okay, then I should just believe in general in everything, no?
Absolutely.
So you won't believe, if I bump into somebody, like after that, whenever I would bump into somebody, okay, I know that person is not going to like, I would go to that person, say hi, hello, bring that person to my client, introduce my client to him, and I would really talk high about that person. That this guy is like a really great guy and I love his work and I'm a follower and yada yada yada. I have seen that question mark on their face that what is he doing? Like really? Like you're introducing me to your clients?
Yeah.
Kya hi ho jayega yaar?
Exactly. And see, what are you doing? You're making yourself happy. And the other guy is automatically getting that appreciation, and he's also, so जब तुम किसी को भी खुश करते हो, God is watching.
You won't believe, I had this one client, okay, who I know has gone to like 3 of my other contemporaries, and then she came to me, okay. And I know, like we have the secret group where we talk about everything, okay. And then we realized that this one client has gone to all these 3 people, and now he's come to me, I'm the last person. And then we happened to work with her and all that, and I was like, and she only tells me that, oh, these are your friends, and I had gone to them and I was like, oh, how do you know? And I was like, they do like really great job, like, these are her words. She's like, I've been stalking all of you on Instagram, okay? And the only common thread that I found in all of them is that I have seen you post congratulations, oh, it's a great design and this and that on so many of other designers' ka post, which I haven't seen them doing on anybody else's. So I feel you are the best person to work on my project and I'm coming to you.
Amazing.
And I was like, wow, this is how like the tables turned.
That's how it is, na. I mean, today there are so many people who post, and I make sure I have this habit कि मुझे तो डालना ही है. Not that if I don't like it, but someone has put effort.
Yeah.
उसके स्टैंडर्ड का एफर्ट है ना, वो तुम्हारे नहीं होएगा, बट उसने किया है ना, उसको शाबाश दो.
Yeah.
उसको शाबाश दो, उसको बोलो वाओ दिस लुक्स अमेजिंग.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes when I love it, I go crazy. Yeah, I'm like, I can go like, wow, 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 wow. But I'm like, control yourself, Balbeer. You need to just be little easy on complimenting also. But when the person sees, you know, people have messaged me, Balbeer, that's so sweet of you on personal. They reply on DM. Then thank you so much for your comments. Nobody will even make a WhatsApp पे भी आता है. Thanks, yeah, I saw your DM. I saw your Instagram message on the post.
Yeah.
That's so sweet of you. I said, of course, you deserve it, yeah. And I think अगर मैं कुछ अच्छा कर रही हूँ तो वो मेरी तरफ से लिखा है करने को. You know, I don't have to be like stopping myself because then I will regret it, and I don't want to regret.
Yeah.
Communication is very important in everything.
In any relationship.
Oh my God, these are my lines. You copycat. Coming back to industry perspective, how do you feel the architecture and design landscape in India is evolving right now?
It'll just keep evolving, okay, and it'll keep evolving, and it'll keep evolving. I see sad structures also, but I see a lot of people experimenting. I see a lot of people going out of the way in doing something nice and beautiful, you know, which adds up to the city skyline. So I think it's great. I mean, of course, we can do better, okay?
Of course.
But you know, like the buildings that Dubai builds. Okay, I just saw this one post, which is abhi recently, Danube is coming up with Shah Rukh Khan, and they are coming up with a tower. I was like, wow.
कैसे?
You know, and I was like, ये दुबई का ट्रेडमार्क नहीं है कि ऐसे बिल्डिंग्स सिर्फ दुबई में हो सकते हैं. ऐसे बिल्डिंग्स इंडिया में भी हो सकते हैं. बट वो बिल्डर का कलेजा भी तो होना चाहिए ना वैसा बनाने के लिए. You know, so I mean, we'll get there. I mean, you know, I see like Lodha doing really good work, okay?
Yeah.
Like in terms of like the exploration that they do, okay? In terms of like the amenities and the background things that they you know, that ecosystem that they build. I don't think that anybody else has done something like that.
Personal and creative process. I want to know that you're so spiritual.
Yeah.
And you believe in you know, Gurudev.
Yeah.
What made you name the product Monster? I mean, they are, if you see, they both are, you know, just the opposite.
Yeah.
So I really want to know why Monster.
So, you know, Balbeer, just by having a guru in life doesn't mean you have become saintly.
Yeah.
Right? That is why we need a guru.
Like we
right?
said, 80-20, we are human.
Yeah, so
we can't forget
because you're on that path, you are on that journey, you need a guru, you need a coach, you need a master, right?
To keep us on the track.
Correct?
Correct.
So, monsters हम सबके अंदर हैं.
100%.
Right? So, basically, that is a representation of me. And we've also made our monsters very cute.
Of course.
Okay?
Too cute.
So, that is
undoubted.
still a representation of me, that where I do have these, you know, those animal instincts in me, right? With his grace, I'm also very cute. So, so the
like
monsters, because, you know, then there is no form. All the negativities in you and all those vices in you, how do you give it a form, right? So we named it a monster, and because there are so many different monsters in us, I can give any form to the design that we are doing, you know, because at the end of the day, because it's not a human, दो आंखें, एक नाक, एक मुंह और दो कान होने चाहिए types, you know, उसको सिर्फ एक ही आंख होगा शायद, right? And all my monsters could be different. So that's representation of all these inner juggle that I
Negatives,
have with
yeah.
my own negativities and vices and everything.
Amazing.
And
You've
with
really
his
just
grace,
sorted it out.
with his grace, having a guru in life, we've made them look so acceptable that it's okay,
Yeah.
It's okay to have that, maybe like I'm
No,
super
very
egoistic,
very well said.
So I know the best part is like the moment you know that you have that vice, 80% of the battle is won, So that's why I'm monster, that it's acceptable, like it is accepted, yeah, hai thoda, we will work on it to like tame it down
Well
and
said.
eventually be free.
Well said, Ed.
So that's why the
That's
monsters.
really cool. If not an architect, what do you think you would have been? I don't think.
Nothing, but I would have been a chef.
Really?
Yeah, I don't cook right now, but if I had not been an architect, I would have been a chef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
A chef that who only makes Jain food. I think I would have been like a really cool chef if I would have been a chef.
Have you tried your hand on cooking though?
When I was a child, I used to cook.
Really?
I used to make theplas and I would make like different things.
Nice.
The entire COVID, I've fed my parents, like the lunch I would make.
How cute.
Couple of things only, but
Fair enough. Listen.
and I would improvise on whatever I'm making, like every fourth time that I would give them the same meal. What else do you do? But yeah.
Nice.
So
what advice would you give to your young designers trying to find their design identity?
first of all, do not be in a rush. Okay. Instagram is not real. Okay, it's real. तो real world के चक्कर में तुम्हारा real world को भूल मत जाओ. It's okay. Don't compare yourself to your classmate or to your contemporaries कि वो 50 project कर रहा है, मैं क्यों 5 ही कर रहा हूँ. Okay. So don't be in a rush. Don't compare. You don't have to be famous overnight. You don't have to be rich overnight. Okay. Today's generation, like, because we get so many people working with us and all of that, we've seen a little trend that, like within 1 year I want 50,000 ki salary, I want to do that, or output kya hai? Zero, So instead of saying that, my friend gets this much, mujhe kyun nahi mil raha hai, you polish on your skills. Because the moment you polish, it is not for somebody else, it is for your own good, and if you're worth it, you are going to be paid for it,
Sure.
So don't focus on becoming rich and famous overnight. It's okay. It's a journey. Okay. Let it take its own time. Focus on
Your creativity.
experience. Focus on gaining experience. So a lot of people feel that they will be respected more if they have their own studio, if they start off on their own and people will look at them in a different light. But you don't have to hurry into that. I would rather say that work under somebody. Find that one architect that whose design aesthetics line up with your aesthetics, okay? And even if you have to work with that person for free, go there, work there for 6 months to 1 year to whatever, gain all that knowledge and then start off on your own, And I would say be true to yourself, okay? Everybody makes mistake, okay? And I have been in that phase where you feel that I will drown in debt if I own up to the mistake that I've done. Okay. But thankfully, with His grace, I've realized that the moment you own up to your mistakes, people respect you more, and you come out of you have a solution, okay, and you will sail through. One last thing is, no matter how rich and famous you get or who you are on the site, never belittle people who are lower than you, and that is your subordinates, people who are in your team,
whoever,
or the laborers or the contractors or anybody else, irrespective of who they are, you should never belittle them, always give respect. And I've seen that if you give respect, you get respect.
Good, well said. So what does success mean to you as an architect and designer today?
That I'll tell you, My team thinks that I'm a narcissist, but when you get a project, okay, and there are times when I sit. So designing, I do, okay, like that's my oxygen, okay. So there are times when you're sitting for a couple of days and you don't feel that you've like literally cracked it, and there are times when you're just sitting, or savere 4 baje tak you're just sitting on that piece of paper to do something, and finally you crack it, you know. And then, you know, while you're going home, sometimes, a lot of times it happens to me that I have tears in my eyes. I was like, ऐसा तो कैसा ही वर्ल्ड बेस्ट इंसान हूँ मैं यार, जैसे मतलब ये डिजाइन तो मतलब मेरे में से ऐसा कैसे आ सकता है, like, you know, like I'm a genius of the first order, like मुझे रोना आ जाता है कि मतलब
इतना
क्या डिजाइन बनाया मैंने यार, मतलब
वाओ,
मुझे यकीन नहीं हो रहा कि ये मैंने किया है, you know? मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि यार अगर किसी और ने करा होता, मतलब ये डिजाइन इतनी अच्छी कि अगर किसी और ने करा तो मैं उसके हाथ चूम लेता, मतलब इतना मैं खुश हूँ आज।
And how often does this happen?
Almost every project that I work on.
See, that's positivity. I think, of course, you know, I mean, we sound to others, we don't sound normal.
Yeah.
But to tell the truth, you know, it's like, you know, I feel that kick that you get when you get this feeling.
Yeah.
That's why you're able to do it in every project you get this kick, because you're so, you know, that positivity comes out. It's something different. It's a different feeling. See, maybe it's not the best, but if you feel it, you know, it really, it's something, it just peps you up and it encourages you, it makes you feel. And if it's what do you call it? If your client loves it, that's it.
So, you know, I get this like a lot of times that my client would say that I don't understand what you've just said, and I'm not even sure that if I'm really liking of what you're giving, okay, at this moment, okay, but he's like, I'm giving in because of your enthusiasm. Because you are so passionate about this, okay, I am putting my faith and trust in your passion that when this actually comes out,
I can imagine
it's going to be something like wow, you know. So, and to complete the circle, okay, that when I feel successful, there are times when I would just end up going to the house that we've done like after a year. Like I was in Chicago right now and we shot the project. It was almost 1 year that I went. And I just had tears in my eyes, you know, because... And I was like, wow. Like, you know, like, wow. Like, a lot of times, you know, you feel like, "Arey yaar, kya kiya hai maine?" Like, you know, but most of the times when you go and you feel like, oh my God, like...
No, so this is, I can relate to this. Why? Because the whole year, Sumit is working on Acetech on the flow plan.
Yeah.
And when he sees it in reality, those 4 days are so aesthetic. They're like, you know, I'm like, Sumit, ye aapne kiya? Of course, it's teamwork that makes the
work.
Yeah,
of course, everywhere, right?
You know, it's like that wow factor.
Yeah.
You know, when you're standing those 4 days, you know, like, oh my God, this is like a larger than life kind of experience when you enter the grounds, you know, the Goregaon Nesco grounds. You feel like, wow. So, you know, I mean, I'm sure, you know, I can totally relate to what you feel, and imagine, you know, you also get that regularly whenever you go to see a project. It's a different feeling altogether.
Sometimes I tell my clients कि आज तो आपने एक नारियल extra फोड़ा होगा भगवान जी के सामने, because like, you know, you've got me as a designer.
ये कुछ ज़्यादा हो रहा है.
Don't I say that?
वही तो
Like I tell them on the phone call, you know, that out of my highly evolved brain, you're going to see something like in the presentation that we are going to do today.
And the grace, not to forget.
Yeah, of course. See, everything
it
is
is
only grace. This
everything.
is just like joking, to
Masti.
make it lighter.
No, but
Okay.
genuinely, I'm telling you, it
It's
is a thing. It is
it's
genuinely a thing.
it's only grace, man.
It's
Always only
it's
grace.
amazing.
Yeah.
It really is. When it's a superpower that we are carrying with us.
And sometimes I also forget that it is grace that is working. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Design तो कर लिया, but अभी बारी आती है execution. That is the real test. Okay. और you feel that, boss, I am like the dude who's like designed something so cool, and we get into the execution, and midway through जो लगती है ना, and then you're like, sorry, like, मैंने कुछ ही नहीं करा, मतलब, it's only grace that everything is working. Please लाज रख लेना, like, नैया पार करा दो बस यार, ये लास्ट चीज मांग रहा हूँ लाइफ में.
So finally, what can we expect next from KDAD Studio?
So you've seen us doing architecture, interiors, furniture. We also do like products, like pieces of art. We are going to be launching our jewelry line very soon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this what I'm wearing is a prototype of our the jewelry line. We call it the Volt by Karan Desai.
The Volt.
The Volt.
Wow.
And
your names are always different. Really. That's nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. So we are working on the back end. We are working on the collection. We are working on the website and everything else. Okay.
So it's going to be like an online thing?
Online thing, of course. Yeah. And we're also speaking to a gallery in New York. Okay. Where inshallah you might see our products.
Cartier or Tiffany ke baaju mein.
Karan Desai, why not,
Of course.
Yeah. So.
Of course.
So we're putting in a lot of thought process, time, energy in our packaging on how you make it personalized,
Why jewelry from all the things?
I think
it's another
as a designer, okay, I think every year there's going to be something different, maybe I want to design a cloud someday, so starting with the jewelry right now.
Nice.
It's giving me that that kick.
Sure.
That fun, it's all about passion, of course. It's and because it is passion. And it's not कि मैं कितने पैसे कमाऊंगा इस पे से, okay? We are able to walk a few extra miles to deliver something crazier, that experience.
Beautiful.
When you buy a product, the experience that you get, right, from from purchasing to opening the box and then wearing it, is that journey we are crafting right now.
Lovely. That's amazing. Wishing you all the best for it.
Thank you. Thank you.
One last question.
Sure.
Tell me.
Are you going to talk about my shoe?
No.
No. Acha, okay, sorry.
Tell me something about Acetech.
So you won't believe, 2007 when I was interning under Ashish, I think it was the first year of Acetech 2, right?
Okay.
2007, because I remember that this was happening for the first time and Ashish Shah had participated in Acetech, and that was the first year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So
we celebrated the 19th year this year. So
that's exactly barabar na? 2007 to 2017.
हुआ था, I think, ना? 6.
So maybe it is the second year. So you can imagine, like, I have known Acetech right from the inception days.
Wow.
All right. And back in those days, okay, I was like, जिस दिन मैं आशीष के जैसे बनूंगा ना, okay, तभी मैं भी इधर में अपना display करूंगा. And you see, we did it in 2014, 15, 2022, 2023, 2024,
Wow.
2025.
Amazing.
Imagine.
Thank you so much. I think I had like a very nice spiritual professional conversation
this was interesting and different
today.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to take back so much from it. Really, it just feels amazing because, it was a different, I know I do a lot of these, but, first time, it's been like after a long time that, having this kind of conversation, because it just takes you do another track altogether. And it
I
was
agree.
really beautiful. And, I wish you all the best for
Thank
many,
you.
many, many more projects and all that you're going to be coming up to in the years to come.
Thank
Wish you
you.
all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karan. Thanks for your time.